Got the ladders installed, and you come down the way. Got the speaker up in here. It's a little dusty. Windows are done. So yep, boats coming in, and I'm gonna probably forget about this whole space until I sell a couple boats. Alright, so I have to narrate this because I'm usually working so hard I don't have time to record everything. So this, at least I was able to get some footage, but here I'm have the wall cleared and pulled in some cabinets that I had in the shed. I've stored these cabinets for about a year now. This is the project that I've meant to put these cabinets to use for, so here I'm finally doing it. I am staging the cabinets, kind of get an idea of, where I want to put them and how I want to lay it out. Now some of this backing wood I'm removing. Alright, come along the way, I'm kind of getting it figured out. Here I have some cabinets in, I'm putting the doors back on. You can see below the cabinets I used some wood to kind of hold the cabinets up until I get it screwed to the wall. And on the very right here, look up, you'll see that I had to notch the cabinet and the door around the garage door track. You can see I'm getting the pegboard in. Behind the pegboard, I painted all those studs black. You'll see that coming up here in a second. It's looking pretty good. Now above the pegboard where there's a space in between the studs, I used some wood, just some strips of plywood I used for backing, so that way that every single seam had a firm support, I guess you want to call it. So there's an extra a temporary stud, or if you want to call it that, so that way the pegboard, it all sits flush with each other. I painted that black as well. I don't want to see any studs or any wood through the holes of the pegboard itself. Working my way down to the left here, I still have to do all this. So this wall doesn't have any electrical. In the future, I plan on running conduit and having all surface mounted receptacles everywhere. Alright, time to get that piece cut right here. And here it is. I kind of notched it in. So you notice this cabinet here has some holes in it. Well, the cabinet was temporarily installed on a job that I was involved with, and it ended up becoming extra. That's how I acquired it. So most of them were brand new, these cabinets, but a few of them were installed just for a short time. Still some very nice cabinets for the workshop. And below the upper cabinet, between this opening, I plan on mounting a speaker. Alright, one thing I want to mention is on the right, you'll see the step on the concrete. Well, all the cabinets on the right in the main garage itself, they're at such a height where I could walk underneath there. I think it's like a 6'4". Well, all my cars and my vehicles, my trucks and stuff could park really close to this wall, and I could open the door, and there's enough clearance that none of them will hit the cabinets. So it's lifted up as high as I possibly could get them. Now what you're looking at is some reclaimed lumber that I acquired. This came off an old barn from New Jersey, and it was used on a pretty good sized job. Well, what I want to do with this lumber, with all this oak, is install it around my window openings. Now I don't have that much. This is pretty much what I have left. And the cool thing about this wood, you'll notice it's, well, besides it being chopped up, I just have scrap pieces. But this wood here I got, it's the wood that had the most knots. It was rejected off this particular job. Well, for me, it's going to be pretty cool back here with these window openings, because I'll be able to see all the knots and all the imperfections, the nail holes. So it's going to look really cool. A very nice rustic reclaimed lumber action going on here. So as we pan, I'm starting to get closer to these cabinets, these big metal ones. Now I'm thinking I want to put pegboard behind there. Pan this way real quick. Here's a little shot of the workshop I got going on. But I want to put pegboard behind these cabinets. There's a lot of work to remove them. I was debating, should I do it? Should I do it? Bam, and I did it. So now I have the studs exposed. Again, I'm just going to get some spray paint and paint all the studs black, so that way I don't see any of the whiteness from the wood through the holes of the pegboard. Alright, so here it is, blacked out. And now the pegboard's installed. So now I could actually work on the windows now that the pegboard's installed, without having to think about cutting the pegboard around the cabinets, because these cabinets, I just would like the option of moving them around. And now I'm trying to figure out how I want to lay my wood out, because I've only got so much. I kind of want it to go like this, vertical, but doing the layout, I've figured out that there's a better way to do this. So inside you can see the windowsill. I have it all in there, all wrapped around. I have a couple long pieces that go floor to ceiling on each window. You know, I'm not really too worried about insulation behind the pegboard. I live in California, so it's pretty much nice weather. However, I am going to hook up a wood stove back here, so that way that I'll have 100 degrees temperature once that wood stove's cranking. I need the gaps of the non-insulated walls. So I'm making progress. It's starting to look pretty darn good. I'm real happy with it. This is pretty much the only shot of this window you'll see in this video. And you'll see some bird cages outside the window there. Alright, well here's the finished product. It sure looks darn good. I have a couple scrap pieces left, and I did remove this cabinet so I could put the pegboard behind it. This is pretty much it for this video. Hope it was worth your time watching. I don't have time to film everything, but this is just some progress I made. So we'll end this video with a quick little tour of the progress. Take it easy. Got the ladders installed, and you come down the way. I have the ramp. I'm going to put my boat in here, so I'm going to roll it up the ramp. But got the speaker up in here. It's a little dusty. Not a big deal though. I'll dust that off. It's on a swivel, so I can move it around. Windows are done. Now I've had to block this beautiful, nice new window with my toolbox. The reason I did that is because I had nowhere else to put it, but I was able to get my old toolbox, the laminate one that I built about 10, 12 years ago. I was able to get this one in here next to the new. I have all my tools in here on this rollaway with a triple threat caster set of wheels. I really like the wheels. Boats coming in, and I'm going to probably forget about this whole space until I sell a couple boats. Plan on putting it over here in this corner.